This is County Operations for January the 28th, 2025. I can't believe that. For noon here today. The first thing we need to do is get a motion to accept member Jennifer Allison will be remote. So can I get a motion? Miss Betty and Miss Daly. Awesome. Thank you. All in favor, obviously. Aye. On the iPads, yes, correct. We are utilizing the iPads today. I myself need to. Okay. Did we get the first and the second? I don't think so. In the system. Okay. Duncan was one and Daly two. Okay. Everybody else vote? Member Elsasser is voice vote, aye. Looks like we're good. Motion passes. Go ahead and get Jennifer online. She's there? Okay. Miss Allison, are you there? I'll take that as a yes. All right, we will move into approval of the minutes from January 7th, 2025. So can I get, first of all, ask any questions? Is there any changes, corrections, revisions? Seeing none. Get a motion to bring to the floor for approval of the minutes. That's right. I always forget the order of this. Blair, Renew. Everyone vote. Elsasser? Everyone voted? Jennifer, can I get your vote for approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Thank you. Awesome. Motion passes. All right, next up, we have informational items. Bring those to the floor.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I'm going to actually ask Angela to do the three reports because I'm having a little bit of technology issues myself. So I don't actually have the agenda up on my iPad at the moment. So if Angela would be able to answer any questions and run through those three reports for us.
Sure. First up is your workforce reports. Again, these are related to December numbers. So the top third of your page are applicants and new hires in the month of December. The middle third are your demographics and gender and race and ethnicity of our employee base. And then the bottom third are the employee separations. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on.
Okay, next is the vacancy report. This again is just a snapshot. We are currently working on getting all of our new positions that you approved in the budget for 2025 into the system. So these budget numbers are still for 2024, but we'll have the new ones for the February committee. I'm happy to answer any questions on this.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on.
Okay, and then your quarterly liability and work comp report. This is for the fourth quarter of 2024. The top half of the report are our liability claims. You'll see those that are still open, as well as the number of claims that were filed. And then there's also the cost per claim year as far as what these claims have cost the county. And the bottom half is related to our work comp claims. Still, again, being able to see the number of claims that have been filed and that are still open, as well as the cost by the claim year. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I know we've discussed this before, but could someone remind me why 2018 was such a bad year for us in comparison?
Are you talking in just both work comp and liability?
Correct.
I know we had with liability with the nursing home. I also think that was also related to work comp claims tend to have a lot more at the nursing home, but we can talk offline if you want to know specifics.
Thank you. That's exactly, I could not remember what it was, but that is what was told to me last time as well. Thanks.
Okay.
Great reminder, though. Thank you. Any other questions? Member Alcester?
Does our reinsurance only kick in on the general liability, or does it also kick in on workman's comp?
So we do have work comp excess insurance coverage, but that's a $600,000.
Ooh. But the other one's 125 or something like that, isn't it?
It varies on each of the different policies that we have.
Yeah.
Any additional questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Just a report, we're good there, okay. Then we'll move on to, I believe there's one resolution for Tyler Enterprise Justice System SAAS mitigation. We will get a motion to get this on the floor. Daley, Blair. And who's taking, oh, there you go, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. In front of you today is approval for a contract with Tyler Technologies for the migration of our Tyler Enterprise Justice System to a cloud-based SaaS, software as a service platform. Projected 5-year cost is just over $4 million over a 5-year period. Results in actually an estimated net increase of about $1.2 million over that 5 years, what we're paying today. Little history for some of you who may not have been here when the system was put in. Peoria County signed a contract with Tyler back in 2012 for the implementation of a civil and criminal justice system. The justice system went live in actually November of 2013. And at that time, it was the first fully integrated justice system in Illinois and one of the very few in the United States that was fully integrated from a single system. At that time, it was called the Odyssey system. Today, it's known as the Tyler Enterprise Justice System. It supports key functions across Peoria County's justice system. It streamlines operations for the Sheriff's Department, the jail, the Juvenile Detention Center, State's Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, the courts, and the Circuit Clerk and the Probation Department. It's the most highly used system we have. We have 695 active users of that system right now, and 150 of those are non-county personnel outside of the county. Those could be law enforcement, attorneys, use that system on a daily basis, and city staff also. When the system was put in, the system was hosted on site. Today, it has grown to 35 servers to manage, and there are terabytes of data to manage and back up. Since the system was put in, every 5 years, we do a refresh of that system and refresh all the hardware, all the storage technology to keep up to date, and we also keep up to date on the latest patches and software updates on that system. The most recent refresh was in 2020, so we are due for a refresh this year. Back in a little add on to that, back in 2020, we had discussions with Tyler on looking at moving to the cloud at that time, since it's such a critical system within our organization. And they were not ready yet at that point to host a fully integrated system such as ours. But they were at that time had just started doing just case management solutions for friends across the river in Tazewell County. They run the Odyssey Case Manager over there. They've been on the SaaS version of that since their initial implementation. So we were not able to make the move in 2020, so we refreshed our hardware, and then we've been in discussions ever since on moving to the SaaS solution. As part of this project, one of the things we did is we went back to those offices that I just talked about and talked to them about recovery time objectives and recovery point objectives. That is their dependency on the system and how long they could go within their operations and have the effect of a downtime negatively affect their operations. You'll see that data attached. We met one-on-one with all those departments and talked through those. That goes anywhere. Some of that data you'll see from we can't go down to we could be down for up to 48 hours. So that's additional data as you show the criticality in our justice operations. Currently today, we back up the system to the Azure Government Cloud. We've been doing that since 2020. That's government data centers where we back up all our data to. And we back up we do normal standard backups. We have good backups of the system, but the challenge we have now is the fact that the system has grown so large that we can do recoveries, but that recovery time is over an extended amount of time. In the past year, there's been 3 large Tyler enterprise justice installations that have both had a ransomware incident where those systems were completely locked up with ransomware, and they were very similar to us, in which they were on site with good backups. We know we have good backups. The issue is how do you recreate such a large system that's been around for a while? Those 3 key systems determined that it was quicker to restore to the cloud and move to the SaaS than it was to rebuild on site. We're estimating a 30 to 60 day rebuild. If we lose that system today, it could take us 30 to 60 days to recreate that system. Just because of the complexities in it. And the other thing, the reason we're bringing this forward is the fact that in the fall, Tyler announced that after version 2025, they would be going only to the cloud. So we're going to be forced eventually to move that way. I went back and looked. The original project back in 2012 was about $4 million. Since that time, since we've expanded, added functionality, and through support, we've got about $10 million invested in this system since that time. The actual migration would occur to the Amazon cloud, not in the Tyler cloud. It's hosted in the Amazon Gov cloud. They have a 99.99% uptime availability for that system. The contract actually reads the maximum amount of time we could be down. In a worst case scenario, maximum is 24 hours. Our data is stored in a single government data center, which is then replicated across multiple government data centers. So that there's a disaster, an issue in one part of the United States, that stuff can be shifted over. All their backups are duplicated across multiple data centers also, so it's pretty redundant. There's a number of large Tyler customers today that have moved over to that platform, the SaaS platform, actually over 100 now, some of those up to full states that support millions of folks on it. So hopefully you got a chance to read through it. There's a lot of information in here that we put together, and if you have any questions, feel free to take those.
Thank you for that thorough explanation for all of us non-IT people. I see Member Blair has a question.
You mentioned that non-county people use it, do we charge them anything? Is there any revenue generation through this?
No, there's not.
Any other questions? Member Renaud?
Do you know if our data is isolated at the data centers?
CGIS requires them to be isolated, so within this documentation, it does meet all those CGIS requirements, where those are separate from others.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good questions. Danny?
I see this as pending state's attorney's office approval. Those conversations happened on the back end. And then the second question that I would have is, what's the operational impact? Like, is staff going to notice this change, or is this kind of behind the scenes?
I reached out to the state's attorney a couple times to meet. Is that what your question is? Why there was no? And I got no response back. So I tried 2 and 3 times to set up a meeting with them. All the other appointed electeds all met. Chief judge, the sheriff, she's here. We met with the sheriff's whole staff, chief judge and hers, and everybody. We talked through that. It will actually help us in the fact that if you remember last fall, you guys approved a new security system that we're putting in right now, which is taking additional resources. It'll free up some time to focus on that, but we still have over 100 plus servers we have to manage. A lot of the stuff we manage today is automated in the patching. This will be the responsibility of the Tyler and Amazon team to do all the patching, the backup, and all of that. We will still have to run, when we do all the testing and patching, for instance, this weekend, we're rolling out a new version, a 2023 version of the software. We've been working on that rollout for several months. We still oversee all the testing of that. We've got several hundred test scripts that we send out to the staff that go through and all that. So that point of it won't change. It's a few less servers we'll have to keep an eye on, but I don't see it as a huge change in what work we have. So.
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Palin, I think that the portion on the approval that you were referring to of state's attorney's approval has to do with the agreement that would ultimately be signed by
yes.
Tyler, and so they usually don't send the contract until after the vote. You don't have the contract yet.
You have.
I have the contract and haven't reviewed it yet.
No, we're under a deadline of March 1st because
that's why.
our,
Our
existing contract for existing software expires at the end of February. So if I can get this completed and rolled, I then don't have to pay on that until this one's done. It's a single payment. So that's why you already have it.
That's right. No,
Yes.
I do have that. So that's why we negotiate the contracts and get those. You approve that we negotiate and enter into the contract.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Member Bryan?
Do other counties that are similar in size and other characteristics use Tyler, or do you maybe really don't know? For like Sangamon, Tazewell?
It just depends. Tazewell uses the case management portion of it. Yes, they do. They've been on it since, I think, 2019, 2020. And I don't know if you're aware, but they had a cyber incident last year. And because that system was in the cloud, they were able to operate that system since it was off-site when the rest of their stuff was locked up and they were down for a while. So that's an advantage. Depends on the size. There's several our size across the country that use it. It really depends on, from your organizational standpoint, on what you're focused on. The good thing that the folks who made this, I wasn't here, but the team that made the decision ultimately to go with this decided that they were going to go with a fully integrated system, which means they don't have separate vendors. That's a rarity. There's a lot of counties who the sheriff's office runs one thing, the jail runs something, the state's attorney runs something. They all run different, but it all feeds in. Here we're lucky enough we run it all across on one main system. So
These other counties you're referring to, are they they use Tyler, but are they putting the upgrade in also then?
Yeah, we're all being forced to that point. Anybody new is going to go SaaS. If we were doing this today, we would do that. No different we did with our finance system 2 years ago. We went to the cloud. Just much better protection for us, and the fact that if we do have an incident here and something occurs, this system's remote and can be ran from anywhere as long as you have a web connection. So.
Any other questions? Seeing no questions, we will call for a vote. Member Bryan is an aye. Jennifer, are you there?
Yes, aye.
Jennifer is an aye as well. Motion passes. Great, thank you. We do need to go into executive session, so first we're going to go ahead and ask if there is any discussion. Seeing none, any public comment? Seeing none as well, any miscellaneous? Seeing none. So can I get a motion to move us into executive session? Member Duncan? Second. Member Bryan? Okay, vote. For labor relations, yes, I'm sorry, executive session for labor relations. So we had, I might not have, we had Duncan, Bryan first, second, everyone else vote. Yeah, Bryan is a yes. Jennifer, does she need to vote for this, Scott? You give it, okay. Jennifer, can you vote, please, for the Labor Relations Executive Session?
Yes, aye.
All right, thank you. All right, has everyone's voted? Awesome, great, thank you. Motion passes.